Whatever vision you have for your special day, let Floyd and Green be there. To have and to hold, now and forever, from this day forward.
All the tools, the latest technology, and the largest team of 5 meteorologists. News 12 First Alert Weather on your side.
When you're hurt in an accident.
Closed captioning for News 12 is brought to you by Kenneth Nugent. From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 First at 5.
A team of car thieves strike a Columbia County neighborhood. Now we're learning it may be part of a larger operation. Plus, we're following day 3 of the Augusta National Women's Amateur. The top 30 now moving on to round 3, while everyone gets a practice round today at Augusta National. That's going on this afternoon. We're going to take you live to the course in just a moment, but first, let's check in with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale. And Riley, big week ahead. Got a lot of golf to play this weekend. What can we expect weather-wise?
Well, that is the good news. For the next 3 days, we are expecting picture-perfect spring-like weather. Gorgeous afternoon just over our studios. One thing to mention, we do have some slow-going traffic right there on I-20 crossing over the river. That's on the Georgia side going into Carolina, so eastbound. 75 degrees right now this afternoon in Augusta. Very comfortable for this time of year. Our winds did pick up a little bit again. Our west winds are still going between 10 to 15 miles an hour across most of the area. A little bit steady in Thompson, 16, Aiken, 12, so most of us just seeing these winds a little bit gusty, but definitely not as windy as what we've seen some days this week, and those winds do look calmer as we roll into the weekend. Current temperatures other places in the region: 73 in Aiken, 70 in Edgefield, 77 right now in Barnwell, same thing in Sylvania. Those are the warm spots currently. Through this evening, our temperatures will be cooling off a little bit more than the past couple. We likely will be into the 50s by around 9 p.m., dropping into the low 40s by tomorrow morning, so a relatively cool start to our Saturday. But throughout the day tomorrow, we're going to see gorgeous conditions. We're going to wake up to sun. Later into the afternoon, a few more clouds will show up, but high temperatures back into the mid-70s tomorrow. Much more on that weekend forecast, and then a first alert already in effect next week. We'll have that in just about 10 minutes.
Some big news from the PGA today. The reigning Masters champ withdrawing today from the Valero Texas Open midway through the second round there. The PGA Tour says Hideki Matsuyama made the move because of a neck injury. He also withdrew from the Players Championship in Ponte Vedra just before play started there earlier this month, citing a back injury. Matsuyama scheduled to arrive here in Augusta in just a few days. He wants to defend his Masters title. This new injury, though, calling his status for the Masters into question. We started with 72. We're down to 30 players. The field for the final round of the Augusta National Women's Amateur is now set. Nick Proto live for us at Augusta National, where the players are getting ready for tomorrow's final round there. So, Nick, how are things going out there? Big practice day for them today.
That's right, Richard. Things are going great over here. The women finishing up their practice rounds right now. All 72 women got the chance to have a practice round here at Augusta National. So even those who missed the cut were still able to play this course. Now, we had a little bit of drama over at Champions Retreat today trying to get this field down to 30. 4 women went to a sudden death playoff to compete for the 30th and final spot in tomorrow's round. In the end, it was Paula Scholes-Hansen who won it with a par on the 4th playoff hole. Not a bad birthday present for the German. Scholes-Hansen is celebrating her 19th birthday today.
I was so nervous, but I just tried to not think too much about it. And Charles, my caddy, and I were just like, just trust your game, just do your own thing. And then I didn't make any big mistakes. So I think that was the key.
So Scholes-Hansen sneaks into the top 30, which is led right now by Beatrice Wallen and Latana Stone. But there are plenty of women hot on their heels, including USC's Hannah Darling and Spartanburg native Anna Morgan. 15 players right now within 3 shots of the lead. So we are shaping up for a great final round tomorrow. We'll have more from Augusta National coming up in the next half hour.
Yeah, the youth and the talent, it's impressive out there. Nick Proto, thanks very much for that. You know, with the tournament comes traffic, and this year the course is at full capacity for patrons. Traffic engineers say this year there are going to be some changes you need to be aware of. In the morning, the biggest change that you're going to see locally, the I-20 ramp coming from the Atlanta area into Washington Road. That's going to be shut down like they've done before. That traffic will have to go to Riverwatch Parkway in the afternoon. Berkman's Road turning into a one-way street going away from the course, moving that traffic away. Coming up here in the next half hour, a closer look at how the city is preparing for a lot of out-of-town visitors. Heads up in Columbia County, some roads will be closed down there in Evans during Wrdw next week. Antebellum Way closed to all traffic next Tuesday. Evans Town Center Boulevard shut down from Ronald Reagan Drive over to Antebellum Way. That's from 3 until midnight. People in one Columbia County neighborhood still working to get back to square one after a crew of car thieves struck there this week. These are shots from a doorbell cam in the Wrights Farm neighborhood just outside Grovetown, getting a real clear picture of these people in action. You can see the suspects rolling up the driveways, hopping out of a car, and then searching other cars to see if they're locked or not. Our Celeste Springer joins us from the Grovetown Department of Public Safety, where investigators tell her this probably is not just an isolated operation.
No, guys, that very same night, police say that thieves broke into the Joyner Crossing apartment complex's cars, and this car was one of them. They stole and ran off with this car, and take a look at the damage that we're told is brand new. Officers just got back from bringing this car from North Carolina after they recovered it. This involved multiple agencies. They were able to track down the car through stolen credit card transactions and the GPS. Still no word yet on the suspects' identities, but we do know the Grovetown Department of Public Safety picked up some other evidence in North Carolina today. We're told this is likely an organized ring, and this is likely also related to the Wrights Farm break-ins. The Department of Public Safety says the suspects were in and out of the city of Grovetown in just 18 minutes.
All indications now are this was a ring, if you will, that came down out of North Carolina. And that's not, sad to say, but that's not uncommon. We're finding that to be more and more prevalent.
And thieves entering cars is way more common than you'd probably like to think. Coming up at 6 o'clock, I'm breaking down a full story on what every car owner needs to know. In Grovetown, Celeste Springer on your side.
Celeste, thanks for that. The suspect accused of murdering an 8-year-old girl here in Augusta was supposed to be in bond court today. That hearing has now been delayed. Antoine Redfield is in the Webster Detention Center after that fatal drive-by shooting that killed Aubrey Anthony. Redfield has a long history of charges, including felony murder, but that charge was dropped after District Attorney Jared Williams said there wasn't enough evidence to figure out who fired the first shots. Authorities believe the shooting was targeted, but the child, they say, was not the intended victim. It's been nearly 3 months since she was shot outside of her home. Georgia investigators asking for your help identifying this man whose body was found off part of the Appalachian Trail back in January. They found him on Springer Mountain in Fannin County. The GBI releasing that forensic artist illustration of the man and photos of his boots and jacket and other possessions. They say he was wearing a gray t-shirt, a gray fleece, tan cargo pants, and Keen brand hiking boots. If you have any information about him, call the number there on your screen. A Burke County man in custody charged with possession and distribution of child porn. Deputies say Jason Conley facing 2 counts of possession and 14 counts of distribution. This comes after the sheriff's office and the GBI conducted a search warrant at his home last week on East 7th Street in Waynesboro. The sheriff's office says he distributed more than 50,000 potential abuse files. It's a tradition 106 years strong. We're going to take you to Aiken to check out the horses there when First at 5 continues. Not a bad day for it over there, Riley.
Hey, beautiful afternoon. That nice weather will stick around into the weekend. Next week, though, Tuesday, already a first alert issued. Much more in the forecast just after the break.
Time and temp.
Come on in to Davis Appliance and Furniture, where you can find the best deals in town. It's tax time, so when that refund comes in, it's the perfect time to get the appliances you've always wanted. For the brands you trust at the lowest prices, visit us at Davis Appliance and Furniture. Come on in to Davis Appliance and Furniture, where you can find the best deals in town. It's tax time, so when that refund comes in, it's the perfect time to get the furniture you've always wanted. For the brands you trust at the lowest prices, visit us at Davis Appliance and Furniture.
You know, it's not unusual this time of year to see baby animals that look like they're alone, but Georgia's Department of Natural Resources says leave them right where you found them. Those experts say if you try to rescue baby animals by bringing them inside the house, you can actually take away their ability to survive in the wild. In most cases, the adult is nearby, even though you can't see it. The best thing to do, leave it right where you found it for at least 24 hours. If it's still there, then call DNR Wildlife Resource Division. Good advice this time of year because, yeah, the baby animals are out there, but you don't want to take them away from their parents in the wild.
Absolutely. It's always this time of year we hear about people finding a little fawn, a baby deer kind of near their house, but a lot of times the mom, the doe, actually just leaves them for a good time, goes around, forages, and then comes back to them. So usually if you do leave them, they do come on back, but definitely some good advice from DNR. And beautiful weather out there for us today. High pressure is moving in for the weekend. We do have this low-level trough that's swinging through the Carolinas, and that is still bringing us a little bit breezy conditions with winds out of the west, anywhere from 10 to 15 for us here at Augusta. 12-mile-an-hour sustained winds currently at Bushfield, 16 though at Aiken, and we are seeing some gusts over 20 right now at Bushfield. Those winds will calm down tonight though. That's going to help our temperatures cool off a little bit more. So our warm temps that are currently in the mid-70s in Augusta, Aiken, most of our southern counties as well, those temperatures will be most likely dropping into the low 40s by tomorrow morning. So a cool start to the day. We'll see mostly clear skies for the first part of our Saturday morning. Later into the afternoon, a few clouds will start to show up. But winds will be calmer tomorrow, generally less than 10 miles an hour during the day and somewhat variable. This is going to be thanks to high pressure just retreating from the area, and that is going to allow winds to kind of shift out of the southwest by the afternoon. And a few more clouds by the afternoon, but still expecting high temperatures, low 70s. Should be gorgeous out there tomorrow. As we head into the lake for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday afternoon should be great if you're heading up to Clarks Hill. Lake temps are still close to 60. With warm afternoons, we shouldn't see our temperatures drop all too much, but with some cool mornings, we may see it drop a degree or two. Southwest winds tomorrow afternoon, and then on Sunday, those winds do turn out of the northwest. Our weekend forecast here in Augusta, not much different, just a few degrees warmer, most likely 74 Saturday afternoon, then 76 on Sunday. Very nice weather all the way through the weekend. And if you do want to plant this weekend, you got the green light. This is usually the time of year to where we see our last frost and freeze across the area. Now, it does vary year to year. Last year, we had our last freeze in Augusta April 3rd. The year before that, though, it was March 8th. Now, currently speaking, we don't have any freezing temps in our forecast anytime soon. Saturday is going to be the coolest start over the next 5, where we will drop down to 40 as we head into as we head into this weekend. We are going to stay dry through Monday. Tuesday is when we're expecting our next system to show up. This is going to be an area of low pressure that brings us a heavy rain risk and also possibly the risk for some severe weather. The timing right now does look to be Tuesday afternoon through Wednesday morning. We have issued a first alert just for that heavy rain threat, and once again, can't rule out some severe weather as well. So something we're going to be watching closely over the next couple of days. And most weather models, at least our long-range models that we're looking at, are fairly consistent, showing the heavy rain threat. The severe weather threat is less confidence with that in the forecast at the moment. But this is what we're going to be watching past the weekend into next week. So definitely keep it here for updates all the way through next week. And once those storms clear out by Wednesday, looking much better Friday into next weekend.
Thanks so much, Riley. The Aiken Horse Show at Hitchcock Woods is back after a couple of years. This event is the biggest fundraiser for the Hitchcock Woods Foundation, which maintains and preserves the property, which is almost 2.5 times the size of Central Park. Today is their hunter-jumper portion of the event. Organizers tell us they're excited to be able to show off their property to everyone again.
I just love that people come from everywhere to see it. It's a very old-fashioned horse show. People come down and picnic, they tailgate. Even if you don't know anything about horses, it's a really neat event to come and see because it's just beautiful. You come up over the hill, and there's this whole little world that we've created in the middle of the woods.
Couldn't ask for a better day for it either. The Hitchcock Woods property always open to the public, and they say you're encouraged to come and enjoy the outdoors there whenever you can. Going the distance for a good cause. Coming up, why this Georgia veteran is on a mission to walk across the state and bring awareness one step at a time.
The Live Ike.
These 3 numbers could save lives. Starting in July, when you dial 988, that will send you to the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. In Georgia, those calls will go to the Georgia Crisis and Access Line. Last year, they got 275,000 calls.
What we saw was an increase in reports of anxiety and depression, thoughts of self-harm, things that are really concerning. But an individual in crisis should have the easiest way to access help.
That was the commissioner of Georgia's Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities. She says federal and state dollars are at work to boost mental health services across the state. A Georgia woman lacing up her shoes to bring light to mental health issues. She's walking across the state to help others. Savannah Louie takes us along on her journey.
You'll hear support for Stacey Bryant before you see her coming. This Atlanta mother of 5, U.S. Army veteran, pageant queen, and cancer survivor now takes on a new challenge, raising awareness about mental health crises.
Mental health, that needs to be the first thing on people's mind. How can I get up and have healthy mental health today?
Stacey first planned to carry her message coast to coast before realizing her health complications would get in the way.
I still want to make a big impact. If I can't walk across the country, how can I do it?
So she's tackling one state at a time, starting with her home state, Georgia, walking up to 42 miles a day.
Mental health matters.
In 9 to 10-hour stints.
You have to understand, I'm a veteran, okay? I'm used to rocking 20 miles with stuff all on my back.
Stacey's message for the world comes from a personal battle.
I retired with PTSD and manic depression. Don't give up. Don't be afraid to seek help. It's not the end. Just because you're in a crisis, there are ways out.
Each day starts the same, writing down her message before trekking along interstates, suburbs, and inner city streets.
I'm keying in on everyone because everybody, I can't stress it enough, needs to become aware and conscious of their mental health.
Mindful movements toward her next stop, final destination unknown.
What's my next step on how I can help someone else? That's really what I've been thinking about.
She is a walking billboard for a great cause. Stacey is raising money to open a wellness studio after her journey. We're going to have more information on that on the website if you'd like to pitch in and help. Happening right now, a reception for Augusta's Native Flora exhibition. You can meet the artists behind these works on display right now at Augusta & Company. The exhibition featuring work done by local artists showing the plant life in our area. The works will be on display for 3 more weeks. Organizers hoping today's reception will be a great way to connect with those artists.
I always love hearing an artist speak, so if you love something, you can ask where they painted it, where they took the photograph, what they used. And it's great to make that connection. It's really special to have something in your house where you met the person who produced it. It gives you a good story when company comes over.
As they say, every picture tells a story. And again, that reception is happening now at Augusta & Co. It runs until 6 o'clock this evening. Tonight, the South Carolina Gamecocks women's basketball team taking on Louisville, the Cardinals, in a Final Four game. It has been a big week for the Gamecocks. Just this week, Aliyah Boston named the Associated Press Women's Basketball Player of the Year. The Gamecocks playing Louisville tonight at 7 o'clock in Minneapolis. Go Cox. It's a high-tech scam the FBI says cost consumers $68 million last year. National investigator Sandra Jones explains why the feds are sounding the alarm about SIM card swaps and what you can do to protect yourself.
For many, cell phones are the pipeline to their personal information. But the FBI says hackers are tapping in through a tiny card in your device and stealing all of your personal information. It's called SIM card swapping. Ira Reingold says it's the latest high-tech scam.
If I'm a crook who wants to rob you of money, instead of going into a bank, it's a lot easier to get access to your information by simply getting access to your phone.
According to the FBI, it starts when someone contacts you by phone or email pretending to be a rep from your phone carrier. Once the fraudster gets your personal information, they call your service provider and report a lost or stolen SIM card. The cyber criminals will say they forgot their PIN and need a new one, and then convince the provider to transfer the victim's phone number over to a new SIM card and device. In some cases, the FBI says cell phone carrier employees have been tricked into giving up information.
Customer service reps are generally overworked, underpaid, and not terribly skilled in dealing with the possibility that someone's talking to them and that person could be a fraud.
The FBI says SIM swapping cases skyrocketed in 2021, with consumers reporting $68 million in losses compared to just $12 million for the past 3 years. In addition to the pandemic, cybersecurity expert Adam Levin tells us one of the reasons for the uptick in SIM swap scams are more people using multi-factor authentication and bad actors are getting access to it.
That's where you log on to a site and then you're sent a code to a trusted device, which is normally goes to your phone. So the bad guys know this as well as the good guys. So, they want to get in on the action.
The FBI has these tips to prevent getting swapped. Avoid posting personal information like your phone number and address online. Use a variety of passwords to access online accounts. And don't advertise information about financial assets and investments. Reingold urges consumers to be vigilant.
The convenience you have on using your phone is great. There are risks that come along with it, and you need to take the necessary precautions to mitigate those risks.
With this consumer crackdown, I'm Sandra Jones.
But if you suspect you are a victim of SIM swapping, first call your mobile carrier, change your online account passwords, contact your financial institution to place an alert on your account, and then report any suspicious activity to police or even the FBI.
All right, all good tips there. We are looking at beautiful weather this weekend, mid to upper 70s for most of our central and southern counties tomorrow afternoon. Looking at 7-day forecast again just after the break.
Wrdw has my complete and total endorsement.
All right, here's a current look down I-20 towards the Savannah River. You can see that traffic just a little bit congested there, right crossing the river. Other than that, not seeing any major accidents, anything like that across I-20 here, just down the road from our studios. 75 degrees here in Augusta. We are going to see very nice temperatures into this evening. If you are going to be out around town, we'll be in the mid-60s just after sunset around 8 p.m., falling into the 50s towards midnight. So if you are going to be out a little bit later, may just want to have a light jacket. Those temperatures will feel a little bit cooler for us tonight. Eventually down into the low 40s by early tomorrow morning. So a relatively cool start to the day on Saturday. We'll wake up with some sunshine tomorrow, but later into the afternoon, more clouds will show up. We are going to stay dry tomorrow, and despite the clouds, temperatures should be able to warm up into the mid-70s here in Augusta. Same thing on Sunday, just more sunshine. That continues into our Monday. And then remember, we do have a first alert in effect late Tuesday into early Wednesday. Keep it here for those weather updates the next several days.
Will do, Riley. Thank you. The top 30 golfers headed to the final round at Augusta National Women's Amateur. After the break, we are taking you live to Augusta National to talk about who made today's cut.
Investigate TV is